last session, session 67. So
So close.
yes, we started with some of Prim telling the party why about her storied past and why she was rather uncomfortable coming back to Nortek. She had been in the guard. She was a sergeant of her own small squad. They went to go exterminate some kobolds, and then darkness, tentacles, and her waking up at the Temple of Ioun, not knowing what happened. Because she already had not being a dwarf against her, it was easy to use this as leverage to push her out of this more traditional society that she had grown up in. So she had left a fiance, a family that didn't, a fiance's family that didn't think she was good enough anymore. Had left her family to not burden them about her her unwelcome stature, and she's been traveling ever since. You guys afterwards had a slumber party because she didn't really feel comfortable being alone. And in the morning, as usual, Prim got up at the crack of dawn and she ran into Alexandria and Angelo in the eating area. They exchanged some information. The twins were heading up north to Nalgrim to pay a visit to the Ice Anvils, who have some implication in may have some implication in what is currently happening. They had received information from an individual named Torel Dragonbender and Jasali Steelbuster. Steelbuster, who Prim knew was the head of the Stonemasons, the government spy network in Ironfast. They wished each other luck, and the twins departed. Tilda, who had sent a message earlier to the Shadowheart estate, was actually welcomed in. They spoke with Lord Larn Shadowheart, who agreed to lend them a use of this lightning shadow to take them to Vanguard if Tilda would endorse his ambassador to the Vapuns, because he was interested in making a wine deal. Prim knew afterwards, during the conversation, was a little alerted because known during her time in the guard that the Shadowhearts were involved in smuggling operations, though they've never been brought to justice about them because probably of their high stature. Um, they disembarked. Before then, Tilda visited the hidden coin to leave a message for Ariana Ashglade. Um, Prim went to do an errand, and Rain followed. And then they headed to the skyport, got on the lightning shadow, and Captain Alvin Silvermane took them to Vanguard. 5 hours in, they arrived in where Vanguard used to be. Rain spotted a boulder sailing through the air, going beneath the airship, and in the direction of where the boulder had originated, there was a group of frost giants and winter rose fighting a lone dwarf as a group of individuals ran away from the battle. You guys feathered fall down and engaged. After dispatching the giants, you spoke to the dwarf, who was indeed this Malbert you had heard of back in Nortek, and he was about to give you a few names of people you could talk to who were present during and alive still during the destruction of Vanguard.
But Ro was falling asleep, so Well, we kind of all were at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, Malbert gives you a few names. There's Vara. She was walking. She was away from the town at the time during the explosion, picking pine needles to make pine needle tea. There was Citri. She was tending to a. She was coming from Nalgrim. She's a merchant by trade. And then there's Rasa. She was tending rams and sheep in ewes away from the area during the time. Those are three women he says that there were a way that you could probably speak to. And there are also three men you can speak to. Baril. He was prospecting with Dalord. Dalorn. Not Dalorn. Dalorn. And Zod was foraging for seeds and acorns when the explosion happened. So most of these people were doing things away from town. Dalorn, sorry, that is an N.
Da bears.
Well, his full name is actually Dalorn Bar. So
Okay.
Of course it is.
Um,
Bear.
but yeah, those 6 people are available. Malbert says the children might be a little less helpful, and a little traumatized still.
Understandable.
Fair.
So he,
Okay,
if you need to speak to them, he'd at least like to be present, just to be not like a figure that they are familiar with. But they are he knows all of the children, and he can, if you need additional information from them, then he can take you to talk to them.
Okay.
I will go with everyone, but I feel like maybe there might be somebody else who's better at talking to people than me.
Is there any way we can get all of these people in the same place at the same time so we can just kind of consolidate our questioning?
Of course, I can go grab them. I can make sure that Regis is looking after the kids while you're questioning the adults, and yeah, we can do that. You had told him to lower that, and he points to the lowering airship. So they're probably gathering near there. So I'll go grab them, and yeah, I can do that. And if you can,
I've a question as well.
okay.
Before you head out.
I wasn't going to leave.
Oh well. Before the topic switches, then. I was wondering if you might happen to know if there's. Oh, this is going to sound awfully morbid.
Okay.
Are there any bodies left? People
We
who died in the explosion?
we on the edge of the explosion, there are some bodies. I've been moving them whenever I've had time.
This is going to sound even more morbid, but are there any bodies with their heads still intact?
He
Prim looks super relieved that she was not the one who had to ask the question.
No, that's fine. Zaitori will do it.
he closes his eyes and he nods. I think I know what you're getting at. And yes, there are a few that still have their jaws intact. I think I know what you're going to do. I can bring you over to them. The code has actually preserved them well, and I've kind of used the snow as well. But yes, you could use those as well. But let me grab the 6 I mentioned to you about, and then we can go from there.
Thank you.
And what's his name again?
Malbert. His name's Malbert.
Okay. After Malbert leaves, I'll kind of huddle everybody together. Just have a little powwow. Now, obviously, we're going to ask these people if they saw anything when they get here, but and we're obviously going to probably cast Speak with Dead on some of the corpses to maybe figure out what they might have seen. But I'm not necessarily the best at picking out fine details in areas. Is anybody particularly good at investigating?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by a soft kitten.
I
Hello,
am
soft
not,
kitten.
personally.
I'm trying to figure out a way to say this without it sounding metagamey, but
Yo, my intelligence is high.
I mean, I know that Tilda's intelligence is high, but I didn't know if she.
Yo, my
had
passive
proficiency
investigation is 25.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah.
How does that even work? Are you just Sherlocking it around all the time?
Please explain what passive investigation is. What it involves.
That's when you just
specifically.
trip and fall on a clue.
Sure, why not? It's when you're like rifling through somebody's pocket, but you're not really looking for anything.
It's more like for not.
And then you
stepping
find
on
something.
traps. That's
And then it's just
passive
like, here's the
investigation.
note with the murder weapon in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Passive investigation is typically. I think the example they give in the book is for not stumbling upon traps. That's normally that's normally what it's used for.
That does make sense.
Yes. But with the information, somehow Tilda would word it in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That she is quite good at the investigating.
I'm very observant.
I'll look over to Tegan. Tegan,
Mhm.
what about you? I mean, we all know that you have a very sharp eye, but are you good at picking up on finer details, investigating things?
I was actually going to, and he points to where the crater is. I was going to actually head out there. If one of you wanted to come with me, and see if I could pick
Perfect.
up anything.
We were having the same thoughts, Tegan. See, look at that. We're on the same page. Because I don't think wavelength is a thing that Akari would know about. I think Tilda and Tegan should go over to the crater site and do some investigating while we get some information from these fine people.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Who and Tegan?
Tilda.
I will go over as well in case anything is, alive and angry and needs punched.
That is probably smart.
Sounds like a plan, then.
So, Brain, Prim, and I will remain here.
I mean, sounds logical to me. Especially if the children might respond a bit better to me.
I think
maybe
that's
in the
fine
same
idea.
height.
Well, they are
Yes,
also
like
all
that.
dwarves, so wouldn't they technically be shorter than you?
Well, you know what I mean.
I mean, someone judging on your height just seems ridiculous.
Anyway,
Okay. After you guys finished conversing, Malbert comes over with a group of 6 dwarves. All of them are in varying states of injury. A few look like they're walking on. Two of them look like they might be walking on a sprained ankle. One has her arm in a sling. One of the men actually has his head taped up with what looks like some cloth. Somebody not extremely clean, a very clean cloth, but a cloth somebody had found. They're dirty. They look tired. And he brings them over and he says, "Well, these are the individuals I told you about." And they nod, and Malbert says, "Well, what did you want to ask them?" And over in the distance, you see there is a group of about nine children of various ages, with a very rugged-looking, dark-haired dwarf with the frizziest black beard you have ever seen, and he's carrying what looks like a gnarled branch for a staff.
It's Regis.
Like he just like he's just like found this
Just a
branch
stick.
type thing.
Yeah, it looks like he literally cut a branch off a tree and he's using it as a walking stick.
Okay.
Do any of the children look injured?
A few of the children look injured. One of the youngest girl, you can guess she's maybe 6 years old. She looks like she's got a black eye. Maybe two of the boys, one has a very crude makeshift like brace made out of a couple branches and some rope. And another one has a looks like there's a piece of cloth that's covering an ear that has been replaced.
Okay. As soon as they get close enough, while everyone else is dealing with the adults because they're closer, Prim is gonna go over to the group of kids and just like try and figure out who's hurt the worst.
Okay.
And start with them.
Okay.
Just like,
roll medicine check just as you're just walking up, and three of them are visibly injured.
Damn
okay.
it.
It's probably the one with the covered up ear. The brace looks like it's doing its job, and there's nothing really you can do with the little girl with the black eye. That's gonna have to go down by itself.
Okay. But yeah, just whoever is injured the worst, she's just gonna like, all right, everybody line up. Let me take a look at you.
They all look at you weirdly. The dwarf with the frizzy beard walks up to you and says, "Name's Regis. This is you are."
Hello, Regis. My name is Primrose Skyn, and by the grace of Gorm Gulfin, I'm going to make these children feel a little bit better. She like rubs her hands together.
He's gonna like give you a look up and down, and he's going to just give a slow nod and looks over at Malbert, and Malbert just does a head nod, and he shrugs, and he's like, "All right." And he brings the little boy who's he's 4. He looks like he can't be more than 4 or 5 years old, and he just pushes him very gently towards the front of the line. He's the one with the ear.
I just think this fucking weirdo and just rolls up and like, "Hey, I'm gonna make the kids feel better."
And he looks
Let me
like
lay my hands on your children.
he looks.
Yeah, that's the creepy way to put it. Thanks.
Yep, it is.
He's
It is a creepy way to put it.
He's clutching a scrap of what probably was dark blue, but turning a little browner at this point cloth, and
oh no.
he doesn't meet your eyes. He just looks down and kind of like shuffles his feet.
Okay. So I'm just gonna legit cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
Would my medicine check be enough to tell me how bad it is? Like what it would need as far as level goes?
Regis, he motions to the ear,
Mm-hmm.
and when you pull back the ear, it's been cleaned. But with your medicine check, you can tell he's suffering from a ruptured eardrum.
Oh.
And
Oh, poor.
yeah, and unfortunately, like a cure wounds might not be enough to. It's if you and he can and Regis can also point out because he's a little bit of a healer himself, but his specialty is more with wildlife. He will tell you that it was pretty bad. He was very close to the edge when they found him, and he's not even sure if. Well, he knows that Dilger, that's the boy's name, that he can't hear out of that ear.
So Prim says, "Oh, poor dear.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can at least make it feel a little bit better."
Okay.
And I don't have regenerate because it's a 5th level spell. But just out of like desperation to try and do as much as she can.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she can like restore partial hearing or do something. He's gonna get my last 5th level.
Okay.
So just cure wounds at 5th level.
Okay. Alright, I'll ask you to roll another medicine check to like try
absolutely shit cure wounds.
To try to manipulate the cure wounds to do what you want it to.
Okay. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. God damn it.
Yeah. It heals up some of the. It looks like there was a cure wound spell, probably a lower level than you're attempting. And it healed up some of the cuts. You're healing up more of the cuts, and you're able to get rid of a little bit of the scarring that may have formed if you didn't do that. But he still doesn't have any hearing capability in that side.
We'll try again tomorrow. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. And Regis just quietly leads him back to one of the older boys, and he brings up he says he brings up a 10-year-old boy, Ganir. He's the one with the brace, and Regis says we clean up the blood. He has a bad sprain that will probably heal over time. He had a pretty bad gash, and he points to just above his ankle. I was able to stitch that up, but I didn't have enough magic to close up the wound as well as I wanted. So if you could help with that, that would be good.
Of course. And yeah, I'm just gonna go down the line.
Okay. All right. So while you're doing that, you guys are speaking with the group of 6.
Yes.
What did you want to ask them?
I suppose.
Silence.
Go ahead, Lynn.
No, I was just breathing.
Oh, okay. It sounded like
Go
you
ahead,
were taking a breath to say something.
No, it was a regular one. I'm sorry.
Regular breath.
That's fine. So, I realize You've all have been through a lot, but we are trying desperately to find out what happened here so that we can either prevent or stop whoever caused this. If you have any information on what you saw, what you think you saw, even if it's crazy, even if it might be something that you think might have been a trick of the mind, anything could be helpful.
They're all quiet. There is a red-headed woman that speaks up. Well, I was out there, and she points to the forest, and she says, I was out there picking needles, and I swore that the sky had darkened, and there was the explosion, and it hit the ground, and the ground shook, but I swear that there was a smaller quake before that 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 fireball came down from the sky. That's the best way. And there several of the people nod, agreeing with her statement. Two of the men don't say anything. Dondurren and Baril said, "Yeah, we were underground, well, in a cave in the side of a hill when that happened. We definitely felt the ground shake, probably after the impact Vara was describing, but we weren't outside at the time, so we can't help you in that fact." It seemed really odd, Vara continues, that the sky got that dark. It was a fairly clear day. So there was a sudden darkening of the sky, a small quake, even before the impact happened, and then she saw what she described, a giant ball of fire descending onto the town, and there was an explosion in a cloud, like a ring that traveled throughout, and she remembered being thrown back because of the force of the impact. Mm-hmm. Most of them, except for the individuals underground, were thrown back, explaining their various states of bruises and their injuries.
Okay. While she is describing this account, I would like to try and make an insight check on all of them.
Okay.
To see if any of them have a reaction in which it seems like it's not the same as the rest. Because most of them seem to be... I would imagine that if they've all had a shared trauma, they would be either agreeing or look like agreeing on the shared account, or they would be still in shock. So I'm looking for anybody who is not giving that kind of reaction to maybe seem like they could have been in on it and they're trying to hide, with the rest of these people.
Can I either assist on that or do my own roll? I'm kind of just walking quietly.
You can assist if you want. You and Rain can be like giving each other a shared look and maybe trying to analyze each person. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I have a +6.
Good.
All right.
Mine's +7, but you said it first, so you got advantage.
All right,
Good
that's
enough.
fine.
Okay. Well, from what they have, Barrel and Dondurren sound like they're truthful in their reactions because they did mention they were underground.
Yes.
Citri looks unsure.
Okay.
This was the one coming from Nalgrim when the impact happened. So you're not sure what to make of that. But
Okay.
The one that was picking needles, Vara, the one that was tending sheep, and the one that was foraging, the third male dwarf. They're more or less all are in agreement of Vara's account.
I'll look over to Citri then. The guy's name that we met after hero landing in is Malgrim, right?
Malbert.
Malbert. Okay.
Yes.
Citri, right?
Yes.
Malbert says that you were coming in from, I can't remember, Nalgrim.
Yeah, I was. I heard something, but I was a little further out than everyone when the impact happened.
When the impact happened, why did you keep coming?
Well, I had family here. And kind of looks over to the crater and looks back. Had family.
I am sorry for your loss, but you'd think after such an intense explosion, why didn't you run away instead?
Because I wanted to see if my parents and my grandmother were fine, and apparently... And she gets really quiet. And she just doesn't say anything. She doesn't say anything else, and Malbert gives you a look and says to Citri, you can go sit down if you want. And Citri will nod and take a place on a rock nearby. And the Malbert raises an eyebrow to you, but allows you to... doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue the line of questioning.
Okay.
I'm just suspicious. So I'm not going to be mean about it. I'm sure
I feel like it's pretty fine. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure that the reaction... I'm sure that the reaction is genuine, but I wanted to push it to see if they started floundering with their story. Well, if she started floundering with her story, so...
we should have Mel.
Tackle him.
Yeah, I think we should have
tackle
Mel tackle
him. Sounds reasonable.
I can do this.
I've been training for this moment.
It's a good thing that Melanie isn't here right now.
I was about to say, it's a shame she's not there.
Yeah,
I run across the distance in between, knowing that I'm needed.
Alright, so while you are thinking of other questions you want to ask them, we can go to Tegan, Melanie, and Tilda, who are walking towards the crater. First, I would like a round of perception checks from you guys.
Reminder that my passive perception.
I was waiting for it.
You are
21.
You are actively looking. See.
You're using your eyeballs.
You got better than your passive. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so Tegan wrote shit, like I always do for NPCs.
Yep.
Tilda and Melanie, something shiny catches your eye as you're walking. You're about probably a third of a way towards the crater already.
Oh, I just realized this is the same people that I had with me during the incident in the store.
Oh no, it is.
What catches our eyes?
Something shiny in the ground.
Shiny.
You both spot it.
It's an old dwarf. He's got potions.
I'll go check it out, see what it is.
Fuck! Tackle him now!
He's got the lightning resistance potions. Get him!
Okay, in my defense, I thought he was running around with like 7 of those things.
We know
not
what you
one.
thought. We know what you thought.
I know. We're teasing.
It's gonna
We
be
love you.
It's gonna
We
be a
love you,
thing
Lynn.
now. Lynn.
I know. I'm just gonna have to tackle everyone we see, just so everyone gets fair treatment. I'm not racist against dwarves. I'm just angry at everyone. It's different.
I think that sounds fair.
I think
Yeah.
that sounds fair too. It's a new character trait for Mel.
Remind me to never go anywhere with you.
Okay, it's fair. So if I go over and check out the whatever in the ground, what do I see?
Yeah, both you and
Yeah,
Tilda
would
spot this.
kind of
All right.
follow up behind.
So it's for lack of a better description, it's a rock.
Ooh,
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
times.
It's about the size of a fist, and it looks like it's as if it's almost covered in. Pretend that you see a rock and it's covered in glitter, but it's not glitter. It's actually part of the rock. That's what it looks like. It looks very different from any rocks you've seen so far in the area. Like it's a little out of
like
place.
pyrite.
Almost like pyrite, but more if you didn't have the blocky squares associated with pyrite, if the side of the pyrite was like smoothed over, and if you cut a piece of pyrite in half and you have a bunch of little speckles in the rock itself doesn't look blocky. It just looks like a chunk of rock. There's no square structure to it like usual pyrite, but it looks like, and the flecks of the shiny bits are all of different types. There are some that are silver, and there are some that are more darker and black, but they still glint when the light catches it. And there's some that are brown, but they still have that metallic sheen to it.
Okay. I will point it out. And then I would like to maybe assist by like pointing out little things that I see about it and see if Tilda and I can work together to figure out what it is.
Or Tegan.
Okay.
If he happens to roll well. Because Tilda will say something along the lines of
actually Tegan might be better because he might know a little bit more about like minerals and stuff.
exactly,
He
that's
works
what I
with
was
stuff.
thinking.
Okay. Well, can I assist Tegan then?
Okay, yeah, you can.
Tilda's still gonna try to like see if she can figure out what it is, but you will have to tell me what to roll.
Roll. Are you
Roll for rock.
I know, right?
If you were a dwarf,
if you are proficient, are you proficient in the nature skill?
I am not, but I'm very intelligent.
Okay, then I would just say roll an investigation check.
Nice. It's less good, but...
Yeah, Tegan is scratching his head over it. Because
even rolling with advantage?
he is not scratching his head over it.
Okay.
He started to, and then was like, no.
He's like, yes. Like Melanie just points out something specific about the rock. He's like, yes. This is the thing.
Yeah, this is the thing. So, Melanie, did you roll anything? Investigation?
Oh, no, I was just trying to give advantage.
Okay.
That was my comment about the advantage.
Okay. You, with your help, because your knowledge of metals actually comes in pretty handy with this, he does point out that, that looks, I mean, that's probably iron, and that's probably nickel, and that's, it's a little weird because you usually don't find stones that look like this. Like, usually if you have like a large he explains if you usually have a large deposit of nickel or iron, it's usually like a seam, or you find a bunch of it together or something of the like. This looks like it's kind of almost looks like the specs, like this thing has been fused together in some sort of way.
As if it were maybe a piece of debris and it got all hot and
really
smushed.
hot. Yeah, exactly. He says. You don't find rocks of this materials of this composition naturally, and he points to the mountains. Or you don't expect to, unless this is another strange phenomena.
If this were from an area, then it would possibly be a very specific area that it would be from, with it being not a common occurrence.
It would be.
Okay. I will scoop it up and keep it handy in case it's a clue.
Okay.
You put it in your inventory and suddenly you have like a quest marker and you're not sure why.
You cannot discard quest.
This is a unique item. It's like, what do you mean this is a unique item?
So you guys continue on. You guys continue on to the crater. And when you get to the crater, it's fairly large. It looks like it is about, from where you're standing, maybe 30 feet deep at the deepest point. It doesn't look like there's anything in the crater. There's no, like, giant rock or giant dead animal or anything like the store. It just looks like a big empty crater. Well, Tegan says, shall we?
I suppose.
All right.
How easy will it be to get in and out of this were we to go down in it? Is it going to be something where we're going to have to possibly get stuck and have to climb our way out?
Tilda's been on her broom the whole time.
Yeah, I was going to say Tilda's probably going to have the easiest time coming in and out. A little tougher for maybe you. And Tegan, especially like the edges, that it's like more of a steep sides than sloping down, so there's not really a good grip, and it's in earth. So it's going to be a difficult time for you and Tegan.
How well can I tell what is in the crater? Like, is it a pretty empty area? Is it something that would make sense for me to maybe stand to watch here and make sure nothing else goes down in there? Or is it nothing moving anywhere? Because I mean, they were wolves, so
It doesn't look like there's anything in the crater. I mean, it's about 30 feet deep, but wide, I'd say it's about maybe 40 feet diameter. So it's like
okay. I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and shimmy down in with everyone else then.
okay.
Just shake those shoulders real good. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
All right, so you guys are climbing to the crater back to Prim, who is taking care of a couple kids. Prim, you're taking care of a couple of children. You finally get to the girl with the black eye. Her name is Gatha, the 6-year-old. She is. She looks like she's holding a piece of amber. That's with her. And Regis says she was out playing, and then she, impact bumped her face, got the black eye, and she very timidly says, hi? And she's like looking at you curiously.
And Prim like holds up her hand and puts it over her own eye. And eye? You've got quite...
And she giggles.
You've got quite a shiner there. Do you want me to maybe help it fix it up, make it look a little bit better?
Can you make it stop hurting?
I surely can.
Okay.
All right, hold quite still for me. And
Push her face down in the snow.
Yep, just gonna get a handful of snow and put it into this child's face. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds again.
All right.
Just shove it on her eye.
I'm just gonna mark off that I've used all of my first level Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Just because that makes sense. That she's just been going through and just doing what she can to make sure that stuff stops hurting.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's just making sure the swelling goes down,
Mhm.
and it does go down. And, she smiles at the end of it. She says, "Thank you."
You're welcome. What's that rock that you've got there?
Mr. E just gave it to me. Because it has, and she, when she holds it up to you, you see there's like a grasshopper stuck in it. I like looking at it.
As well you should. It's quite beautiful. Make sure that you keep it safe.
Mm-hmm.
She boops her on the nose.
And she smiles, and she goes back to the group of kids.
And then Prim like stands up in front of them, like cracks her back a little bit, and says, "Got a really important question for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping that maybe at least one of you could answer. Did any of you see anything strange just before the explosion happened? Did you see any lights in the sky? Did you hear anything unusual? Even if you just felt something that was a little bit off, a little bit weird. Anything might be helpful."
You mean like the funny lights? And it's the little girl that you were treating with the black eye, and Regis cocks an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything.
I definitely could mean the funny lights. Could you tell me what they looked like, sweetheart?
Yeah, they were like really pretty, and she points over to the mountain. There was it was like green, and there was some blue, and then the sky started getting really dark, and then I I asked Struggle what was happening, and then next thing I know, I'm on the ground and my head hurts.
And let me tell you right now that you're dealing with it like a champion, my dear. I've seen grown men weep from much more minor injuries than what you've got there. You keep that in mind, okay?
Okay.
Right. Now, do you think that if I gave you some paper, do you think that you could try and draw what the lights looked like?
Yeah,
If they were just...
they were kind of like far, and she points to a particular area of mountain, like over there, like Mr. Malbert, like goes up there a lot. Maybe
Okay.
maybe he knows. I'm not
Um,
not sure.
Definitely something that I'm going to ask him. Right, let me get you some paper and see if I can get some colors for you, all
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
All right. You've been a very great help. Thank you.
She smiles, and there's a older boy, about 14, that comes up behind her and gives her a smile. And
Okay. And I'm gonna see if I can get some parchment and like see if anyone has like colored inks or something like that.
Regis will take out of his bag some
Crayons.
not crayons, colored powder.
Okay.
He has like a variation of like a dark blue and a
Mhm.
yellow, and
I have a cartography kit. Would I maybe have something colored in there?
you probably do, but you're in a crater right now.
Right.
Thank you, though.
I mean, I might have half her ship by now.
Okay. I mean, Zaitari's an artist. Of a
No.
sort.
She just
Of a
hands you some
sort.
lipstick.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Zaitari
makeup.
can definitely do makeup.
Yeah, makeup.
And she can. I mean, I guess she could probably like roll a performance check or something, see if she can actually draw something really well. It's never come up before.
So, well, what Prim's gonna do is just like come running up to Zaitari, sinking about a foot into the snow each time, depending on.
Yeah.
Zaitari, it's an important question. No time to answer. No time for other questions. Do you have any makeup on you? Anything with colors in it?
Yes. I have a makeup kit. I think I do. I should have it in my sheet.
If you have
somewhere.
if you have like a disguise kit or something like that too.
Nope, I have a makeup kit. I did because I'm weird like that. I write down most of my even mundane shit because of things like these. I have a makeup kit. I also have a silk scarf set, but that doesn't really matter right now.
Can I
I have a
borrow the
forgery
kit?
kit. It probably have some stuff in it.
Oh yeah, it probably that would have fine inks and paper in it. I would imagine of at least a few different colors. So maybe with our powers combined, me and Rain can make something of some tools with which this kid can draw shit.
With your powers combined.
Yes.
I am Captain
An artist.
Planet.
Okay.
Though I will ask, because Zaitari will accompany you back to the Chillins. Will you describe to Zaitari what this child said?
Probably in brief.
Okay,
just like when she comes over saying like she needs stuff with colors because she like
would you mention at all the location of where this kid pointed at for the colors that she saw?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And this will be a question for Prim. Might that be in the direction of where Nulgrim is?
I believe that is the direction of where Nalgrim is, correct, DM?
It's more towards
Like-
the the area she was
Okay.
pointing to was more towards the east.
Okay, so
Okay.
then that would contradict where that other woman was coming from. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm don't tell the others over there, of course. I'm more inclined to believe a little girl when it comes to something like this. She hasn't the thought in her to lie.
I agree. The adults are more likely to feel the trauma of this than a young child might. Though that one woman I am a bit suspicious of, to be honest. She is either acting reserved because she is in mourning, but it doesn't quite seem like that. I'm just going to keep an eye on her.
I suppose keep in mind that people who are in shock do strange things and will make poor decisions with no logical reasoning behind them,
Of course.
but even so, I don't know. None of the children are acting like they're in shock.
Or at least
Oh.
they're hiding it well.
I'm going to see if I can get as accurate a drawing of these lights as I can. Thank you for the colors.
Of course.
Prim is going to go and not just the little girl, but see if anyone who saw these lights can add anything that they saw. Essentially,
All right. It seems like Gatha was the only one who saw them.
okay. So
Yeah.
Prim will sit with her for
Alright.
like get out a blanket and put it on the ground, make
Alright.
sure that paper doesn't get wet.
Okay, and she starts using like Zaitari's eyeshadow and starts using her,
that's
like
gonna be a lot of money to replace
the,
this stuff.
the fingertips and making like the outer edge, and she's like she's scribbling a little bit because she doesn't know what shading
She's
is.
like 5, yeah.
She's 5, and then it's like there was some green there and some blue there, and it was like it was not long. It just went away.
So would you say it only lasted for, say, how long you can hold your breath, or even shorter than that?
No, like she frowns. She looks like she's trying to think what kind of like length of time she can compare this to.
Right. All right. So how about I start counting?
Okay.
And then you tell me when to stop, and that's how long it'll have been.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
That's it.
That's very fast.
3 seconds.
Mhm.
All right. You are very keen to have seen something for that only lasted for that short a time.
Well, I mean, I was looking up because of the birds.
Oh.
What bird, sweetheart?
Lots of birds. They're going flying in the air.
Do you remember what direction they were flying?
No, there are lots of them though. So many birds.
Oh. That's interesting. Can I make a nature check to because me, the person, I know that birds and other animals can sense stuff like earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I make a nature check
Yeah,
to
you
see
can make a
if this
nature
was,
check to see if maybe they're the phenomena are linked. Maybe they knew something was happening or sensed.
Or would this be nature or survival?
This would be nature.
I didn't tell Prim this, but there was also the pre-quake. So
Yeah, I don't know shit about birds.
There could have just been a lot of birds.
Gosh, birds. The
somebody,
birds are birds.
somebody was probably filming a Hitchcock film.
Or it could have been Birdemic.
Or Birdemic. Oh
Oh,
god, that's terrible.
Birdemic was an amazing movie.
It's amazingly bad.
Still, I don't know anything about birds, but I do think it's weird. So I'm gonna file that away for later, so I could mention it to someone who knows more about birds.
Okay. So you're coloring with Gatha and Rain, and Zaitara. You're still with the group. Anything else you want to ask them?
I personally don't have anything else that I can think of. Well, I mean, I guess I could ask them about the lights in the sky, since Prim did mention that. But if Rain has something she wants to ask
I
first,
think we should also ask him just to see if there's anyone. Meta question: did we get like a reason, like what we think why this town was targeted, or anything? Do we have any other than its supplies mining stuff?
we just know that. I think we just know that it's like a mining town. And
I thought it was something about. First of all, I thought it was about ley lines. Secondly,
about that, yeah.
This is Vanguard, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we were told.
Oh yeah, that's
by
right.
the
We were
dead
supposed
guy.
to come to Vanguard because of the ley lines here.
Yeah. Told by the dead guy that the ley lines were like particularly powerful here.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
So that's maybe
Vanguard
that's
of
yeah. That
the
that might be
dwarves.
why this spell was able to be cast, because of the ley lines.
I would just kind of get in front of the group and say, so we know some strange things happened shortly before the explosion, but even before that, in the days or weeks leading up to it, was there anyone or anything interesting happening around town? New faces, spaces that seem strange, that shouldn't be there?
You see,
Travelers, it could have been somebody visiting, even if it was just for a day or two.
Not to mention it, and this is Barrel, the miner. The miner. We got a few. There was quite a few humans here, in the past months, I'd say.
Humans.
You know, humans, non-dwarves. You don't find many of them up here. They seemed alright, kept to themselves. Came into town occasionally. Think you sold them some tea once, Vara? And Vara's like, yeah, I sold them some tea. Quiet folk.
Did they have
talk
any
much.
specific kind of look about them, clothing-wise? Any kind of similar jewelry, maybe?
You see Varos thinking, how just most of them seemed, what's that word, reserved? Like, they were cordial, but didn't really like friendly talk, like do a lot of friendly talking. Just came in, bought their supplies, and went. I think one of them I was speaking with, they were they had a camp outside of town. Some kind of, I don't know how she described it, retreat.
Hippies.
And do you know what kind of supplies they were purchasing?
They brought tea for me. I know from old Arnold, they were getting, just general supplies. I think one of them spoke with uh, 1 second.
Notes.
Does Atari have like minor illusion or anything like that?
I do. Yes.
You could show him faces of cultists we know.
True. Could.
That's a terrible. That's a terrible like book. The cultists I know.
The cultists I know. I could also, because I can't remember their names right now, but I could show them the various higher ups in the cult.
Okay. Yeah, you can show them that.
I'll start producing some faces
Mhm.
with minor illusion. I'm going to show you a couple of people. If any of them look familiar to you at all, from the visitors that were here, just say so.
Okay. They
Um,
look slightly confused, but they'll agree.
Okay. I'll begin showing them, what I can remember of some of the cultists higher up that we've encountered. I can't, like I said, I can't remember specific names, but basically the ones that we fought definitely in the
Probably Trevere and
and like in the castle and things.
All of a sudden, as you're showing these faces, Dallorn will say, "Wait, I know who they were speaking to. That's who they were speaking to. Elojar. Don't you remember, Barrel? They were speaking to Elojar about having some kind of, like, big stove. Was it a table or something like that?
Oh.
I don't.
probably unrelated.
Maybe it was like it was a giant slab something. Beryl says.
Off the top of my head, if I can remember the materials that it was made out of, was it made out of different
cinnabar.
colored stones? Yeah, the cinnabar was the one that's at the top of my head.
You see,
Cinnabar,
Beryl says,
Bloodstone, Jade, and Snowflake Obsidian.
those do sound familiar. Stonebreak. His last name was Stonebreaker. God's rest his soul. He was asking for a bunch of different mineral types, and eventually he got them. The area is rich in a variety of minerals, and anything we can't get, we get them from Omek up north northeast.
And could you tell us the direction of this camp that they had?
Oh, they always went. He gestures eastward. They always headed out the town that way.
Is that towards the mountains?
Oh, Talaria's towards mountains, but that's towards those mountains. Yeah.
When the mountains where the lights were.
Yeah, and that would be the same direction of where Prim said the lights were.
Yeah.
That girl saw.
But his shop was in the center of town, so I don't think there's anything left. Sorry, we can't. I can't be, or Dallard said, "Yeah, sorry, we don't know anything else. I mean, we just
Believe me, all of that information is extremely helpful. Now, I will ask one more time if there is anything any of you saw that would sound crazy. It can be the most off-the-wall idea. I ask that you share it. There will be no judgment. Any kind of information would help.
And you see Malbert look towards those mountains.
Did you see something in the mountains?
Yeah. I did.
What was it?
A fuck ton of undead.
What kind of undead?
Well, if I had to guess, frost giants. And you see the other people looking kind of wary now, and Malbert says, this is a conversation we should have later.
All right. And where he was pointing, like where he was looking towards the mountains, is the same direction as the
It's the same direction.
Camp. Okay. All of the cultists are over there. Wee. I'm also excited. I just untangled all of my yarn. Yay!
So back in the crater, you guys are probably gotten to the center, and you're looking around. And just roll me one more perception check. You know, I'm using another die for Tegan. I have like 6
While
perception.
they're rolling, Heather, yeah, perception is what she said.
Yep.
Heather, do you like regular scarves or infinity scarves more? Heather.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
Do you like regular scarves or infinity scarves more?
I like regular scarves.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What
a mysterious question.
Melanie? Perception check?
Oh, I thought it was just Tegan. I'm sorry.
No, he just rolled like shit.
Nice! But also, fuck you!
Okay, so... Tilda, you are hovering above, or close to the ground. Melanie, you are walking, and when you step on a certain patch of ground, it feels different from the rest of the ground you are stepping on. Tilda, you see some indentations in the floor, just where Melanie is walking, and Tegan is oblivious to everything.
He's too distracted by probably looking for
Tar, your boy is pretty, but he kind of dumb.
That's not my fault.
He rolls single digits.
Am I gonna have to buy you a D20 and call it the Tegan die?
Probably at this point.
I would like to go ahead
I need to get Taliesin to bless it so it actually rolls 20s.
I know, right?
I would like to lean down and see what I just stepped on very, very carefully.
You...
Is that investigation?
Yeah. You brush it away. It feels hard. Would you like to take a closer look at it, Tilda?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Although, in my head, I'm like, you just stepped on a landmine. Good job.
Boom!
You're just like waiting. Okay, she's still alive.
Yeah. Investigation, right?
All right, it's not that hard to see. She's looking in the wrong spot. She looks like she's looking at the edge of where it should be, but you point her in the right direction. You guys and Tegan at this point, she's helping
darling,
you.
over here.
Yeah, you're brushing off, and underneath there is. You can't uncover all of it. You get a piece of it, but there is a very large, as if somebody put a large chunk of metal in a fire, and it's very smooth. There's smooth indentations. It's, for all intents and purposes, it looks like you got Melanie and Tegan are currently standing on a giant piece of iron of some sort, of a metal of some sort.
Like maybe
metal
the thing
that
came
had
down.
been probably
Yeah,
metal that had been melted and then cooled down real fast.
probably.
So we seem to be finding remnants of whatever hit here, but nothing, no sort of actual boulder or something that... I mean, obviously this was a spell. This was...
I think this is what hit here.
Well, yes, but it's... Perhaps you're right.
But it seems unlikely that this was a coincidence, unless it was the weirdest coincidence ever. So obviously there was something else at work.
Yes, Bryn, I agree.
I can't whisper as Melanie. So
Okay. So we found the little rock. We found this big piece of metal. What I'm trying to say is, you know, usually these minerals are found within rocks and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So we should be able to find just a big fucking rock.
What I'm saying is, you uncovered a piece of the rock you're standing on. From what you can tell, some dirt has probably covered it, but the piece that you're standing on is much bigger, and you would have to do a lot more digging to get it out.
Ah.
Yes.
All right. Having that kind of knowledge, Tilda will share that with Tegan and Melanie and then go, it's up to you whether you want to start digging it out or not.
I'm assuming it's really large, is that correct?
Yeah, and Tegan says if it's solid metal, it's gonna weigh a lot more than I think any of us can carry.
True, but we can at least uncover it. Get a good look at it.
We could. I mean, I guess we could start digging and you can tell everybody
If you don't want to, that's
that's fine.
fine.
That's fine. Haven't been able to do anything else since I've been down here. Might as well start digging.
I'll help.
He gives you a shovel. I don't know.
Does this seem like the center of the crater?
It seems like the center of the crater.
Okay. What's going on?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, so what are you going? So they're gonna start digging.
I mean,
we could see.
I don't exactly know what we're looking for here, to be completely honest.
We could find out how large the item was, try to get a scope of what happened.
I mean, we know what happened.
Well, no, but we But if we knew how large the thing was that fell from the sky, maybe it would help. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Also, maybe there's like drawings on it, etchings.
Maybe. And maybe it's also a space pod with a baby in it, you know?
Ooh, free baby.
I'm pretty sure this is the plot to Stephen King's The Tommyknockers.
Oh, jeez.
I've never read a Stephen King novel in my life, and I don't plan to.
Okay.
So I don't understand the reference.
Tommyknockers was an absolutely terrible, terrible TV movie. And the book was, okay.
Okay.
And that's all you need to know.
Cool, cool. I was making a reference to Superman.
Oh.
I got your reference.
I
Thank you.
never got into Superman. Or Batman.
That's okay.
I was a Spider-Man girl.
So they start digging.
Yeah. I'd kind of like to look around this spot to try to see if I can figure out what kind of building was here
Okay.
or was around it, you know, what kind of buildings were around.
Sure.
Was this specifically, you know, this spot specifically targeted,
Right, right.
or was it just random?
Investigation? You're just looking
Yeah.
you're looking around, looking at residue. There is something else you notice, and this is when everybody starts digging.
Not everybody.
Well, two of you guys. Every time Tegan and Melanie, shovelfuls of dirt and whatever light there is left in the day. It's kind of cloudy-ish, but some of it glints.
Mhm.
You do notice that there's some glinting coming from like the shovelfuls of dirt. Not a lot, but more than you expect. Like you catch one or two like glints here and there, maybe even three with every shovelful. And then when you're looking at the piles of dirt they're leaving behind, and just looking where you see those little glints, it feels like very small shards. Those glints are very small shards of what feel like glass. Like very small. Not sand particle small, but small enough but still large enough to hold shape and maybe like prick your finger if you maneuver it in a different way.
Question: like we were standing where there were buildings and
Yes.
such. So could this just be remnants of the buildings, like the glass of the windows and stuff?
The windows, yeah.
Or does it seem like something more than that?
When you first think about, there are buildings, this might be glass, it's probably probably glass shards and nothing more. There's a tinge of color to this glass if that's the case. Maybe you think, okay, maybe stained glass window. But it's weird because it's only one color.
What color?
It's an off-white bordering onto maybe a palish purple.
Huh.
And then you're realizing as you're now taking in this information and you're looking around further away from the center, a lot of the dirt actually contains this very small, sharp pieces of glass that's maybe a couple hairs, like maybe a couple hairs thick.
Okay.
Can we do some sort of check to see if Tegan and I or Tegan and Tilda could figure out what it is?
I mean, you can do one more investigation check. Yeah.
If I pick it up, if I pick up like some dirt and kind of try to single out a piece.
Yeah, you could probably do that easily.
I'm just trying to get a closer look at it and see if it does it. I mean, a pale purple. That's an interesting color if it's stained glass, because it's not like a vibrant color. Usually stained glass is vibrant so that you can really see the color. Would I know? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something here.
Let me just tell you, no matter what shards of glass you collect from where, the color's pretty uniform.
I feel like you're trying to tell me something, DM, and I can't figure it out. And it's upsetting me.
Probably how hot the ground got. Cuckoo.
I'll
Probably
get...
related to the mineral composition of the dirt and how
I will I'll let
was
you guys
of metal
think
that fell from the sky.
I will let you guys think about it. And I will go back to the group of dwarves.
Cuckoo.
The metagaming pigeon is back. Anyways, I'm
wasn't there a gem that was purple?
Was there a gem that was purple? I don't know.
Guess this explains all the birds that were around. Yeah,
right?
All metagaming pigeons.
Cuckoo, let's bring it back to dwarf so that they can take a look at the glass shards. See if they can determine what the fuck this is. See if it's actually glass or a gemstone. Cuckoo.
I'm just gonna go back to the dwarf group just because you guys are still questioning dwarves. And you found out a piece of information.
And Prim has been working with what's her name?
Gatha.
Gatha, that's it. I wanted to say Gita, but so Prim's been working with Gatha to see if if she can make this drawing as accurate as possible.
Okay.
And just trying to coax her into say it's possibly remembering anything else.
Yeah. So she's drawing, and she's just drawing a smattering of color. She draws the mountain. She thinks it's a triangle. It's like hilly triangle shape, and then it went poof, she opens her hands and then closes them, in 3 seconds that you indicated or whatever time, and then I saw this, and then it gone.
Okay. And okay, and just just trying to see if she remembers anything else about the birds or if she saw any other animals. So it's just she'll
look up to, and you find out, Draggle, who she mentioned is her brother, and he's one of the older boys, and he's kind of been close to her while she's been drawing, and she's like, oh no, it's lots of black. They're so far, very far. So I don't know. They look black, but she's that's. I don't think I could see if they were sparrows, or they're so far away.
All right. And that's all right. The fact of the matter is that you did see them, and that's helpful all the same. Okay. And then, yeah, when she's done, just gonna take this picture, like thank her, and probably just like give all of these kids, like, because I know that probably a number of them are orphans now. So give each of them, how many are there?
There are 9 of them.
So I'll give them 9 gold each, or
Okay.
I'll give them 10 gold each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them look like they've never had this much money before.
Just like,
haven't.
I know it's not going to, it seems like a lot now, but I need you all to try and save this as much as possible, alright?
Yatha, like, looks at it, and she grins. Some of the other children have been, pretty quiet, so they nod.
Alright. Thank you so much for your help. I hope some of you at least are feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, Dragol, Gatha's brother, will lead her away and say very quietly to you, Thanks very much, Miss Prim.
Of course.
Yeah, and he looks like the older children look like they've kind of, starting to grasp the situation they're in.
Coming to terms with it.
The younger children are still kind of, it looks like the older children have been distracting the younger ones.
Okay. And then once she's done that, she's gonna go she's gonna go back over to the group of adults and just like tap Zaitari on the arm a little bit and just pass this picture up and say, I wonder if showing some of them a picture might jog their memory a little bit.
Also, that's a lot of blue eyeshadow.
Also, please let me know how much the eyeshadow costs, and I will reimburse.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't really use blue too much, anyways. It kind of clashes with my skin tone. Ends up looking a bit green when I put it on. Anyways, I'll motion for Rain to come over, as well as Malbert. Shit. Malbert. I'll get it right eventually. Malbert to come over.
All right. He walks over.
I think we've probably gotten everything that we can get out of them. It seems like our next destination is going to be towards that camp in the east that the travelers were using. That's where this little girl saw these lights. That's where you saw the undead. And I'll motion to Malbert. And that's where they said that those outsiders were keeping their camp. But I think you need to tell us about these undead that you saw.
Alright. Well, if you're setting them, I assume that ship up there ain't gonna be up there forever, and they're gonna be taking this group back to Nortek?
Yes, we're likely going to have to hoof it.
Alright. Well, if they're gonna take him back...
Unless it's not out of the way for them to drop us off nearby. Though I think what we need to do before we set out is do it in the morning tomorrow. Because I think doing so right now, it probably wouldn't be wise to come upon them in the dark.
Yeah. Alright. Well, these folks are Malbert says these folks are my first priority. They have to be safe. I want them on that ship to Nortek as soon as possible, especially the children.
Then we'll get them on the ship to Nortek.
All right. Just let me do one thing before they leave, and you see him. He goes over to Vara and Barrel, and they lean in close, and he speaks to them using his hands, and then he goes into what looks like a pouch. Takes out a bag bigger than the pouch looks, and he puts it, he puts it in Vara's hands, and he says something to them, and you see Vara look into the bag and look very startled, and like motioning, I can't, and Malbert just shoves the bag back into her hands, and he motions to the children, motions to Vara and the rest of them, and Vara nods. Barrel nods as well, and he says a couple more things, and Vara hugs him, and Barrel gives him a pat on the back, and they both nod and wave their, looks like they're saying goodbye to each other, and then Malbert comes trotting back to you guys. Alright, I've taken care of that. Okay.
Alright, well,
Shouldn't
how about
we be waiting for the rest of your group? And he points to the crater.
We should probably go retrieve them.
Alright.
And we can walk and talk while we go to the bodies.
Right,
so that
the
we can
bodies.
see if we can find anything out from them.
Right.
Seeing as we're probably not leaving until tomorrow anyways.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And
Unless, Rain, you have anything you want to ask? Or Prim?
Yeah.
I do have something that I'd like to ask.
Mm.
Does anyone here remember seeing birds acting strangely? Or any other animals? Just before the blast?
They nobody says anything. They all shake their head like they can't. The two people underground, of course, but the others don't recall.
Only it just seems to me that the only person we've been able to get a straight answer out of has been a 5-year-old girl. And she's given us more than anyone else has, and I don't blame some of you for it. Of course, you're in shock. But if there's anything that you can remember, if you're frightened of something, I promise you that will protect you. If you're scared that what you saw might not have been real, trust me, we'll believe you. Anything can help.
We'll see, third time's a charm.
And like looking directly at the woman that Zaitari was talking to, that she's suspicious of.
Yeah, the lady who was on the mountains, who probably saw something from above, but she won't fucking say anything.
Gatha's telling me that she saw lights above the mountains. That she was looking up because she saw the birds. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Now, I'm not any sort of naturalist, but I can tell you that that does seem a bit weird. That moments before there was an explosion and colored lights above the mountains, there were just swarms of birds taken off. And if anyone was in any position to see something, please. We only want to help.
Can I make an insight check on that lady and
Yeah,
see if
sure.
she's like scared?
Sure.
All right, let's see. Not great, but I guess it depends on how well she's hiding it, if she's scared or not.
Yeah, you see they're all trying to like think of anything, but they're coming up empty.
Can I make an attempt at like, I don't know. It's because this isn't like,
give me your fucking information.
I guess this would be persuasion, but it's also just I'm just trying to see if any of them, like, I'm trying to appeal to them from like a heart to heart sort of way. I don't know. My persuasion is shit, so
just
I'll try and roll it. Okay, guys, get ready for awfulness.
Oh, I was going to say I might be able to assist if in that when I was talking to them before could be a setup, but I don't know if that would apply.
We can try and spin it that way.
Yeah, DM up to the DM.
Like, honestly, that's good. That's okay for me.
Yeah, 12 is not bad.
Yeah, you're not really.
Do I get advantage because I'm using this child as leverage?
Well, I mean, that 12 is oh so high.
I know. Do I get double advantage because of the child?
It seems like you've tapped out like it could be they weren't looking in that direction. Especially there was a person a couple people prospecting, people herding sheep, picking pine needles. Not exactly looking up into the sky.
Sheep, right. Woman on a mountain wasn't looking up
we're
at the
mostly
sky.
just very suspicious of the woman on the mountain. She has not given us anything helpful, whereas everybody else has at least somewhat contributed to this.
Do I need to tackle her?
I don't know, maybe. I'm getting a little annoyed with her, honestly, and not saying anything.
Alright, I'll tackle her when I get up here. You got
Okay.
Okay, so back into Crater.
Okay.
Tilda's looking at shards of glass. Tegan and Melanie, you're still chugging away. It's a big lumpy rock of metal. It's gonna be really heavy by the time. It's gonna be. It's a big size. It's a generous chunk.
I'd like to just see if we can kind of like dig out the edges so that we can see like the size of it.
All right, so
that's all we can do. That's fine.
Size wise, it's about. Let me try to get a size comparison, maybe. Size wise, it looks like. So that's a column. So one column. So let's say that's a foot. Maybe it's like 10 feet across. Not that big of a chunk. You can get to the edges, but it's gonna weigh over easily, if it's like 10 by 2 feet, easily over 1,000 pounds.
Okay. Once we find kind of like all of the edges, or at least most of the edge, I would like to just kind of dig under one side, whatever it looks like the easiest would be, to just kind of see like how thick this thing is, because I feel like if we know the size of this, then we could kind of estimate what it took to get it here. So I'm just trying to, see it in a 3D space as well as I can.
Okay,
basically.
So if it's about 10 feet across, it would probably be like roughly, if it were to fit in a cube, a 10 by 3 cube.
Okay, all right. That's what I want to know. Once I kind of find that, then I'm gonna be like, no one can lift this.
Yeah,
Do we need anything else in this hole?
Yeah, Tegan's like, this is going to be impossible to live out of this hole. Unless we can get like a dragon or something to come over, and even then, maybe that's going to be a little difficult.
Well, now that we know how kind of the extent of this, then we can kind of know what it took to get here. So I'm brushing dirt off my armor this whole time. Pulling it out of my hair. I think I would like to get out of this stupid hole.
Yeah, me too. It looks like there was more to this, possibly. Because, the sides have been melted. So, where's Tilda?
I think she's just floating up there.
She's looking at something.
I was about to say, when you come out of the hole, you just see Tilda, like, trying to figure out the mystery of this fucking purple glass.
At this point, you've collected a small, like, pile of it in the middle of your hand, and you're just looking at it. And you guys climb out of the hole.
Yes.
And the group of you are headed towards the crater to go collect your other compatriots as... Well,
Yes.
You guys are going to the bodies first, or do you want to go to the
No,
crater?
we need to go collect them.
Okay.
And then we're going to walk and talk about the undead.
How far away are we?
I mean, you guys could see each other as you're walking towards each other. It's pretty flat. So,
Okay, I'm just wondering if we're within brooch distance.
Oh, you're
so
definitely...
They don't have to walk all the way over to us.
You're definitely within brooch distance. No question about that.
Okay, so they don't have to walk all the way to us to get us.
No,
Well,
but
we need to go.
It's like
we need
Star
to go.
Trek. They still call the captain down to the engine room even though they have communicators. It's just fun.
Yeah, and I think
I've never watched a Star Trek.
You're dead to me.
Malbert.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Didn't Malbert say
Finally.
that where he was? I said I'd get it eventually. Where he was placing the bodies was outside of the city, past where even you guys were. So, like, walking to get you guys would put us on the path to get to the bodies, anyways.
Yeah, he says he's storing them. He found the place where he can store them until they could receive a proper burial. So somewhere.
See, so it's not pointless of us coming to get you guys. There is a point to it.
Okay. I just... Yeah, never mind.
Also, I forgot about the brooches, but, still. Either way, it is serving a purpose. So we'll come over and get you guys. I see that Tegan is doing sweaty manual labor, and I just look up at Tilda. So, just making... Why are they digging? Why are they...
So Tari, let's just enjoy it for a moment.
Tegan speaks up. We found a very large piece of metal in the ground. He describes it. It looks like it's been melted. It looked like it was melted very quickly and cooled. It's too much. It's very heavy. Probably tipping over 1,000 pounds. And
I would imagine, since it's a giant hunk of iron in the ground. And I'll take out one of my scarves from my bag of holding and just start wiping off his face.
And me and Melanie and I were trying to gauge how big the piece of metal was. It's roughly 10 by 3. And he described, and we found some other pieces of stone, and it would be rather fascinating to study if this wasn't such a tragic event.
Well, studying it might be a good idea anyways. Silda, what are you looking at up there?
These shards, darling. They're all over the place. Shards of light purple glass.
Can we all take a look?
By all means.
The skyship's captain's parrot was purple.
Can I give Tegan any
That's right,
assistance
Barney.
on trying to identify these shards of glass?
Sure. All right, he'll take a look at it, and I'm gonna use my crystal d20 and see what happens once it stops rolling. Ah, well, it's a 10.
Be from a purple.
Okay, but I'm also giving assistance.
Okay.
So. Silence.
Well, it takes a while to stop.
Oh, okay.
It's a cylinder almost.
Okay.
So he says, I feel like I've seen that color before, but I'm not sure in what. It's not amethyst. It's not fluorite.
Malbert, is this ringing any bells for you?
He looks like.
Do you know what building was here?
There? That was probably. He looks around and tries to gauge. The general store. Mildred's pie shop. I'm gonna miss her. Smithy. Mason's shop. And yeah, this was just an area where there were a bunch of shops, probably a couple of supply stores, if I recall.
Well, this doesn't seem to be getting us anywhere. So Tilda kind of like wipes her hands off, wipes them together like.
Did we check for any magic on these?
Not yet. I could, if you'd care to stay for 10 minutes or so.
Well, we can walk while you concentrate, and I'll just lead the broom while we're going.
Fine. I will cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay. The shards of glass light up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, fuck. Is that it?
What kind of magic?
It is. Let me go to my notes.
It's like, yes, what kind of magic is it?
That stuff that was in Mike's head?
Ooh,
Dang.
that was purple. Yeah, it was purple.
I thought it was like a pink purple.
Well, that's a very pale purple. So
that's fair. I was picturing it like a magenta, like a fuchsia.
Yeah.
I return.
Welcome back.
Sorry, it's my dad's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just went and gave him presents.
Well,
if you see him again, tell him we said happy birthday.
Yeah.
Will.
Especially since it's my birthday too.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Did you get presents today?
I did not really get presents, but I did get a birthday pheasant.
Oh,
Ooh.
No,
interesting.
Like to
This
eat?
wordplay, or
Oh.
no. So my mom gave me 2 cards this morning.
Okay.
One of them was it has like a quail in a birthday hat with a bow on it, and you open it up and it says, "Here's your birthday pheasant."
That's adorable. That's adorable.
Yeah,
Well, happy birthday, Ro.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
How hard is this question? What kind of magic is it?
Results inconclusive. Try again later.
I know, right? This is not a magic 8-ball!
Transmutation.
Okay. So it's definitely magical.
With hints of enchantment.
Transmutation with hints of enchantment.
Sure.
Okay.
and top notes of abjuration.
I know, right?
Yes. Just a
Like it's a freaking
hint of
wine.
enchantment on the tip of the tongue.
What is this?
Little sparkly, spicy flavor.
I'm getting notes of destruction.
It's the various pieces of preclusium you did run into did come in various shades of purple. So this is possible.
Okay, so it's a possible match for that. Okay.
Oh, I
Can
was
I-
right. Oh,
Yeah, that's...
Well, I mean,
yay.
if Prim shares with the class, hey, doesn't that look like the same color as the thing that was in Maite's head?
Yeah, can I do an Arcana
It's-
check to see if it's the same stuff?
Yeah, you could probably you've been around it enough to probably get a good feel for like hardness, coloration, grade.
Are we all back together now too?
Yeah, you guys are all back
Okay.
together.
Yeah,
at this
we
point.
are.
Okay, so I mean, Prim was the one who shattered the thing in Maite's forehead
Yep.
too.
Yep. I mean,
So-
yeah. It's
I
looking
gotta-
like it, Tilda.
Yeah, I got up close and personal with it. Yeah.
You did. You did get
Okay.
up close
So
personally.
Prim is like, that looks really familiar, and Tilda's like, yeah, I know.
Trust me, I've been trying to puzzle it out for the past 15 minutes.
I'm sure Dara's just like, oh my god, it's not that hard, guys. But we all forgot what the color of the thing was.
Malbert's just like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Thankfully, we have these really useful notes.
It's not that I
Yeah.
forgot what the color was of the preclusium. I thought it was a different color than this.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of stuff like going on
Yeah.
since then.
But yeah, this probably it may be preclusium, especially with the amount of magic these tiny shards are radiating.
Uh-huh. I wonder.
And Albert's like, okay, still walking to these bodies.
So, Malbert, why don't you share with us these undead that you saw in the mountains?
All right, so I was
What?
doing. I live out there, and he points to the mountains.
I'm not slow, darling. You don't need to speak that way. This is the first we're hearing of undead in the mountains.
I've been out there for about 15 years now, and usually what I do is I clear out any giants that are threatening the herds of livestock in what I did in Vanguard. About 2 months ago, I encountered an undead giant. I didn't think about anything of it at the time. I thought maybe it was one of these giants that stumbled onto cursed ground or something of the like. It was one. So I dispatched it, burned it, and went about my week. About 2 weeks later, I stumbled upon two. Then I started thinking, okay, this is strange. So I dispatched them, looked at them thoroughly, didn't find anything, but I'm not a magic person, so I didn't find anything. Burnt the bodies, and then I started patrolling around a particular area. And then I came up upon a very, very large skeletal animal. So I decided after I dispatched the creature that it was time to perhaps get some help from Nortek. So I headed towards Vanguard to report to the captain of the guard. And on my way to Vanguard, before I got there, the explosion happened.
I see. And do you know what kind of animal it was that you encountered?
It's nothing I've ever encountered before. It was large. At first I thought maybe undead wyvern of some sort. It definitely was serpent-like, but it wasn't. It was not like any creature in the mountains I had encountered before. It may have been a totally different type of creature. I did not recognize it.
Did it have a sort of hood made of bone?
A hood.
Yes, I'm gonna kind of try to
Like, okay,
gesture to like,
mm,
because we've dealt with bone nuggers.
yes, you
before.
have. You have.
Or
No.
at least one.
This one had. This was on all fours.
It had legs.
It had legs. It had legs. All fours. Had a tail. Had a Had a long neck. Its head looked really weird. Kind of like narrow, and he tries to describe it in the ground. Sounds like he's describing like maybe a crocodile head, but shorter.
Was it only 4 legs?
4 legs and a tail. Long tail.
Can I, like...
How long was the neck?
Jeez.
As long as the tail?
Shorter, but as long as the tail, not longer. Definitely.
Can I make some kind of check to see if I recognize the description of this creature at all?
Sure.
I mean...
Yeah, roll a...
Is anyone else thinking Brontosaurus?
roll a nature check?
Sure.
Bone structure?
They move in herds.
It could be a number of things, but you're not sure.
I will make a vague nature attempt.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and as he's describing this,
yeah.
I'll try to use, like, minor illusion to craft what this creature is to maybe try and give it a visual representation.
Okay.
See if that helps anybody else, maybe.
That's not a bad idea.
Give someone else advantage.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm a city girl. I ain't seen no wild damn animals.
Yeah,
well,
the
it's
only wild animals
skeletal thing. So,
Tilda would have seen would have been in a book, you know?
yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing from a religious perspective, this doesn't sound like a Draco Lich, right?
No.
Okay.
No, because then it would have just been a skeletal dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows what dragons look like.
True.
It's fair.
Who knows?
I feel like most of us have probably seen pictures of dragons.
Yeah, but he probably would have said wings.
Yeah. Well, he said wyvern, so wyverns have wings.
Yeah.
He said wings, 4 legs.
He
A
didn't say
long-
wings, though.
Didn't he?
No, he
He
didn't say
said
wings.
wyvern.
No,
Okay.
He
just
could have said wyvern-like body, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I just heard wyvern, and I assumed it had wings.
Same. Okay, so he said long tail.
Yep. Long tail, long neck.
Weird crocodile head.
Or a crocodile-like head, but very small. He's like, I have no idea. Never seen those on the mountain before. So I decided, all right, let's go to Vanguard. Let's go inform the guard. Get a messenger to Nortek. Maybe they can send some magic knowledgeable folk out here and see what the hell's going on. And all this happened. I tried to send a runner anyways. See if I can get anybody to come help, but I assume with the crater, I don't know if I'm gonna get any help.
We're help.
Pose.
Wow, rude.
I
I beg your pardon, darling, but we just defeated 2 giants and a handful of ice wolves where you couldn't.
I was taking my time.
While you
Anyway,
were taking your time, those would have killed the remaining refugees.
I think that everyone's a little bit stressed right now. And I think that we should probably get in out of the cold.
Well, first we need to
And also find a body. Yes.
bodies.
and you're
Or
about
at
where
least just one of them.
he's where he is, where he's buried them. Down the sloping hill, there's like a shallow like cavern. It's been packed with snow. Underneath the snow, there is a tarp. And he said, "All right, I'll go get one with a head. I'll be right back."
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder what we're really hoping to get from one of these guys.
Yeah, while he's retrieving the body, between me, Prim, and Rain, I'm sure we can go over everything that we got out of the people that we talked to. So
Yep, like show everyone the picture that Gatha drew and explain how she said that she saw the birds.
yeah, the area in the mountains where the strange people were camping, and it's the
Humans
same
just
area where
running
you
all
saw
over the place.
Lights over the
undead, and same place with the lights and all that fun shit. So
All right. He comes out with a body. The man looks like he was very badly burned. He puts him down and all right.
don't ask too many crazy questions without me. I won't be bumping at all.
So you decide your 5 questions.
Oh god.
We should ask him if he saw what was happening, if he saw anything in the mountains or anything with birds, and then we should ask if he knows anything about the people who were poking around, the humans.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
those all sound good.
Okay.
Okay. First question.
My last third level spell.
As he takes in a breath to vibrate the vocal cords, you see in the the ice has kept him rather well preserved. There are cracks in the burnt flesh as his mouth starts to open. What is your first question?
So, before anyone even asks a question, Prim says, good evening. Please answer the questions that my friends pose to you. Thank you.
Okay, so first question was, did you see what happened that day, or can you describe
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, can you describe what
Okay.
happened? It's good.
Can you describe what happened the day of the explosion?
Okay. The sky darkens as if on a stormy day. So, very dark clouds. There was an uneasiness in the air. The ground shook. He says that he remembers that the ground was shaking, but there was a very strange vibration underneath the soles of his feet. It felt like he was scared, but it felt like that feeling was diminishing quickly. And then the impact happened. And he knew it was an impact because the wall to his home had blown in. There was a very large amount of heat, and that is the last thing he remembers.
Why would the ground shake before? This isn't a question to him. He doesn't need to answer that.
Okay.
Why would the ground shake before? That doesn't make any sense.
There's a vibration in the ground, but it came from above. Is it, oh, God, what was it that the fucking letter said? About this place being a magical nexus. Was that part of it, do you think?
I imagine it was something that was risen out of the ground.
Or it could be that drawing the power from the earth itself shook the ground.
That too. I doubt we'll get any sort of answers from this fellow here.
Well, not specifically related to that, no.
Yeah. And he did mention he was in his home when this occurred.
Damn it!
We'll ask him about the people that were in town and see if he knows anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
To bring out another body.
Well, no, we haven't asked 5 questions of this guy yet.
No, I know.
We'll ask him about the
travelers.
people.
No, and just keep bringing me bodies until we find one that was outside.
Oh.
I got a couple
Did you
spells
look
left.
up? No, I was tying my shoe.
Next!
What's the second question you want to ask him?
If he saw the humans in town.
There were humans in town. I sold foods. I sold rations to them.
Oh, hey, this is the what's-his-face guy. The shop owner.
Yeah, the general store owner.
Somebody else mentioned him.
What was the name? What was the name that
Ratatouille? I don't know, it started with an R. I think, or possibly a bee.
And he said that he recognized. There was a someone wrote it down. Yeah, did someone write it down?
No.
There was a
I
name.
did.
There was a name that I think it was Malbert said.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
so.
about how hey, I recognize this guy. It was when Zaitaria was showing all the images of like the cultists we used to know.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, because the one
And
woman
which
said
one
that
did he
she
say?
sold him tea, and this guy sold him rations. I just don't remember what this guy's name is.
Yeah. Malbert,
Mm?
do you know the name of the general store owner? You were there during the conversation too. You would have heard this guy say the name of this person.
I mean, are you talking about? You're not talking about the stonemason. You're talking about the guy who sold them rations.
Mhm.
Oh, right. It was a stonemason.
That's right. That's who he was talking
Okay.
about. He was like, "Ah, yeah, that's him."
Go ahead.
Okay, never mind.
False alarm.
Um.
Okay.
Okay.
Does he remember them being like? I guess. Does he remember them being shifty? Does he remember them doing anything odd? Or buying anything odd?
Or wearing anything odd.
Yeah.
What question? What specific question do you want to ask?
Were they odd?
Maybe ask were there any memorable aspects of these people,
That's
or
That's
do
good.
not a
you
bad
know
way
where
to.
they were camping?
Either one of those is good.
Basically, was there anything that would have made them stand out?
Other than them
Other
being
than being
humans.
human.
Yeah.
Which adding that qualifier on, I don't think it would fuck up the question at all. So.
Okay, so the question. Sorry, my cat is trying to get my attention, even though he has food.
Give him
There's food
something.
in the dish.
Give him something.
No. Go.
Give him attention.
Obviously, the cat just.
I shoved
needs-
him towards the dish, and now he's eating it.
Nobody knows what the cat needs. It just does.
Anyways, okay, what's the question? Were there anything unusual or anything that stood out with the people?
Yeah,
Aside from
other
being
than
human.
Aside
other
from
than
being human? They... When he asked them, what they were doing out there, they responded that they wanted to get away from civilization. They wanted to attune themselves to their surroundings.
Hippies.
They said they were waiting for some a natural a event that was coming.
You sure they weren't waiting for tonight?
Oh.
Right, that's the first thing that came to mind.
Malbert is just sitting there, wondering why did I offer to why are they using the dead in this manner? They were all very quiet. They kept to themselves. They were never hostile. But they seemed very lacking, personality-wise. He wouldn't be able to tell you one from the other than looks.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Does anyone happen to know, and not to him, but to everyone else, does anyone happen to know if there was a specific celestial event that happened on or around the day of the impact?
Tilda might know, but I don't.
Only he said that they were here waiting for some sort of natural event.
Can I make some kind of roll to?
Sure. You could do like a history. It's kind of like maybe it was in an almanac or something.
Cool.
I mean, it is getting close. It is approaching winter.
That's it. It's just getting close to winter.
I mean, there is like. I mean, you guys were coming at the near fall. I mean, there's the autumn equinox. That's a possibility. There are probably several celestial bodies that might be aligning soon. But it's hard to tell which one they were exactly looking for.
So nothing that was specifically happening on that day?
No.
Okay. We have one more question, I think, right?
Two more. Oh, wait.
Two more.
Yeah, because you asked about what happened that day. You asked about if he encountered humans. You asked if, what was odd about them besides being human. So you have two more.
Okay. Alright, what else can we ask this guy? If there were any, like, odd events leading up to the impact? Like, not just minutes before, but, like, days before?
Days.
I guess? Like, if he noticed anything odd,
Sure.
I guess. Like, does anyone have any better ideas?
No. I don't have anything.
Bring the next body. Find me one that was outside.
Did you see the birds?
No, honestly, I think we probably have enough to go on for tomorrow. I just wanted to see if we could get anything else out of somebody who was in town. So.
Okay. So Prim will ask him, it's like, did you notice anything odd that happened in the days leading up to the impact?
There was something. He once caught one of the humans burying something. He asked him what it was, and he showed him a purple crystal. Said it had something to do with tuning to nature or to the event, something.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Precilium or whatever.
Yep. Preclusium.
The Preclusium, thank you.
Yep, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we ask where he saw him burying it?
Yeah.
Or
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be a good idea.
Alright, so last question. Where did you see this man burying the crystal or any others like it?
When he found him, he was burying it near the smithy.
Okay. Where was the smithy in relation? Like, was it in the center of town?
It was near the center of town.
Homing beacon, maybe.
Yeah, or something to amplify the magical power of the ley lines.
I don't like this.
Magical GPS. What is
Yeah,
Don't like it.
yeah.
Could it even be
Any answer is not good. Also, how? Again, I want to know how the fuck they got their hands on so much preclusium, because at this point, it is now an absurd amount of preclusium that they have.
You have to be working with people who control it. So,
I guess we're gonna have to do a sending spell to Alexandria to tell her about the preclusium for sure. Like,
So I think
tell her
The
that we're here
amount-
with the preclusium is, I think, the ding ding ding.
I mean, they were like, how did we get enough to control my day? And this is like on another order of magnitude.
Yeah,
this
well,
is like yeah.
it keeps getting to be more ridiculous, because how did they get enough to control Maite, and then how did they get enough to control her mother, and then how did they get enough to do this? And I would assume that they have more, because it's now 3 times that we found it, and it's not just around the city, which is where we found it before. It's other places now.
This doesn't seem to be the big move either yet.
Yeah, this is probably a test.
Prim knew a little bit about the preclusium, at least as far as mining it was concerned, right?
Yeah.
And that it's only on that one specific island, and that it's very rare.
It's only in Al Gore, and it's heavily
Yeah.
controlled, and the only place which has a large amount of it is the giant wall that surrounds Al Gore. That makes it act like a shield.
I wonder if Al Gore is missing chunks of their wall.
I was about to say, either somebody in Al Gore is supplying them with this stuff, or they're just taking it from the wall.
So the wall around Al Gore functions as a shield. Would I know if bits of it could be safely removed and then repurposed? Like, is that a viable option?
Without them noticing and it causing any integrity damage to the wall?
You're not sure. You're not even
Yeah.
sure how most, other than the hierarchy in Al Gore, no one knows how the wall works. It was built so long ago that, and the way it was built, it has been kept secret. It can't be reproduced.
It's like Ancient Aliens at this point.
Yeah.
It's like the wall in the north that keeps out the White Walkers.
You know, there are a lot of zombies coming down from the mountains.
Yeah, we are getting zombies and Draco Liches.
Great.
DM,
Take
do
forever.
you have something you need to tell us about this plot line?
It's an April, guys. It's an April.
Are we going to be fighting the Night King soon?
Malbert's gonna cover the body once you're done with it.
I was going to say silent.
A careful non-answer.
No, I've been found out. Shit.
And he's gonna go put the body back in the snow.
Nature's fridge.
Baby girl.
All right. Well, we need to tell Alexandria what we found out. And I think we need to camp here for the evening. And we'll make our way up towards the mountains in the morning, I suppose.
Malbert says that sounds good.
You wouldn't happen to have an actual shelter anywhere around here that's still standing?
No, I built a lean-to when I was out with the the folk out there. I'm usually pretty good in the code, and
I can make us one of a sort.
Oh, really?
Um,
Well, I mean, we're normally used to Tilda's tiny hut.
fine, but it's something that'll give us a little bit more shelter.
Okay.
And Prim is gonna go over to like the nearest like cliff or rock face or something like that, where it's just solid stone, and it's just gonna lay her hands on it, and is gonna cast Stone Shape twice. So make basically like a 10-foot by 10-foot little like cube out of the stone to give us an overhang that's like a little bit out of the way.
That being done, I would like to do tiny hut.
yeah.
Cast tiny hut within the stone
Okay.
cavern inlet nook thing.
Okay.
That was the only other word I can come up with for it.
Niche, yes.
Just riffing on what to call this thing.
Okay. You can do so. Alright, so you guys go in the tiny hut.
And it's much more comfortable in there.
Are you going to invite Malbert, or... I mean, he's fine sleeping outside if that makes you guys more comfortable.
No, he can come in if he wants to.
Okay.
Malbert can come too.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll come in.
He sleeps outside the dome.
Tilda gets to decide whether he can come into the dome or not. He can.
Yeah.
He can stay inside the cavern niche alcove thingy that we made all he wants.
Alcove, that's a good one too. Yeah, he can come in.
All right, he'll come in, and he appreciates being allowed into the tiny hut. So you guys spend the night. If there's any additional questions you want to ask him, feel free.
No, I think we just go to sleep.
All right.
I don't have it. I don't have anything.
I wanted to ask where the undead were coming from, like what direction.
He says he's found them wandering, but in a specific area. They aren't exactly coming from a particular place, but he's found the skeleton creature and the three giants in the same general area. Sounds like the area that Gatha saw those lights in, so possibly linked.
So out in the east.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Is there functionally a difference between undead that are created naturally and undead that are created by like a necromancer? Or is it like basically impossible to tell?
You'd have to like, I mean, if it's a golem, then easy to tell. If it's like,
like a flesh golem.
Like a flesh golem is easy with like a skeletal creature or like a mummy. Well, mummy also, it's like cursed and stuff. It depends on the undead, I suppose.
Okay.
You know that undead can come about through great pain and strife, and they have not completed the tasks they need to do in life. So cursed undead, but there are also undead that can be made, like animate dead. So you know there are different types that can be created from curses or deeds that need to be done. But
okay, but like from Malbert's description, I would have to see them myself.
You would have to see them yourself.
Okay.
Now that he's like, taking off his armor and, just getting ready to go to bed for the night, you do notice that he has Prim, you notice the armor he's using. You recognize it immediately because you've seen depictions of great dwarven warriors that have used this type of armor.
Oh, is it dwarven spike armor?
It's dwarven plate.
Oh.
Nice. You notice also the belt he wears is of a deep red color, with the face of a giant as the buckle.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Belt
like
of
as
giant
he's
strength.
as he's taken his armor off and getting ready to go to bed, and Prim is doing the exact same thing, like 2 feet away, and both of them are just clank, clank, clank. And so she's like, nice armor.
Oh.
I noticed your armor.
Thank you very much. I got it a long time ago, when I was still adventuring with my friends.
Oh, it's I was going to ask. It looks almost like a family heirloom. But it's quite a nice set.
It is. And he kind of smile. So, you're from Ironfast. Accent?
Hi. From Nortek. Raised there my whole life, pretty much my whole life.
Oh, okay. I see. Same, but left probably 30 years earlier.
Any particular reason? Adventure or?
I was in the army. A little too rowdy for the army, my superiors said. So I decided.
I see, one of those types.
Yes, so I decided to just, make it easy on everybody. And my friend and I wandered for a little bit and met people along the way, and we did some great things, some strange things, and eventually I ended back in Ironfast. Couldn't stay in Nortek, and decided I liked fighting too much, so I ended up up here.
I ended up leaving Nortek a few years ago and fell in with the Sisterhood of the Bold. There's a good bunch of ladies. So any one of them can tell you that armor is a girl's best friend, not diamonds.
The Evandra order, right?
Yes.
I've heard of them. My friend spoke to me about them a little bit.
It was kind of them to let me help them, considering we don't worship the same god, but
they're a good bunch of folk, though.
Oh yeah, they're quite accepting.
Mm-hmm.
Clank. Clank,
clank, clank, clank.
Now we're all obviously within earshot.
Yeah,
of this
you can.
conversation.
I was about to say this is a small area. This is more backstory than you've ever given us willingly.
Yeah.
I would like to roll an insight check on Malbrick right now and see if he's being just friendly or if he's being friendly.
Sure, you could roll. You could roll.
It's Malbert, by the way.
Malbert. Shit.
Malborg.
You should just call him something
I get the Mal part every time.
I wonder why.
My son Chico.
Also,
I wonder why.
Exactly.
This is 100% everything that you knew about Prim when you first met her.
It is.
It was. She was part of the Sisterhood of the Bold, and she was from Nortek, but she wasn't there anymore.
You get the feeling that he's kind of, talking like a warrior to warrior type of deal. Like, you know, she's like a, you know, armor melee type. Same with him. Big ass hammer plate. So some like there's sort of like a connection that way, but you're not. He's not. He doesn't seem like he's necessarily trying to flirt with her.
Over the brooch, I'll say to just Prim. You know, Prim, he is quite handsome in his own right, don't you think?
Prim blinks a couple of times.
As you look at the twigs in his beard.
Yeah, and then looks at Malbert. And then looks so
Just trying to see if it'll do anything.
Raises an eyebrow.
Okay.
Breaking up the system here. We gotta pair you up.
This is a party of shippers, and we will ship.
It's very obvious to you, Prim, that the warhammer he carries is very unusual. It has runes carved on the outside of it. There is a large. It's not. During the battle, you took note that it was glowing, but now it's kind of like a dull glow, and it's wrapped in a nice, almost leathery suede for the handle. It's a very nice hammer. Probably one of the nicest, obviously magical hammers you've seen.
Yeah. So
and,
she's gonna.
Yeah, and you notice the boots probably are magical as well. All of you notice this. For those who are trained in Arcana, they're boots of the Winterland. So
Wait a second.
Oh yeah.
He's got 4 things?
He's got the belt, the boots, the plate. You saw him use the javelin of lightning, and the hammer. And a hammer. This is all what you've seen.
Well, he was a former adventurer, so you know it would make sense that he has a lot of nice shit.
How many of these require attunement?
That's what I'm thinking.
Tell me now.
Armor
doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
The javelin doesn't. I know that.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
And he's got the Tal'Dorei feet that let you attune one more item, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, Prim just like settling down, like getting warm.
He
like, pulling out her bedroll.
He will take some rations, some meat, and he'll offer you some, and then he'll take out what looks like a brown pouch. He'll look into it, and then he puts his hand into it, and he sprinkles what looks like some pepper onto his meat, on the meat with some like hard bread, and starts eating. And we'll offer you some if you so choose. Prim.
Prim definitely accepts.
All right. He says, just tell it whatever spice, and do it.
Oh.
It's handy when you do hunting and can't carry a million spices on you.
Okay. So, can there be like a dwarven equivalent of like a hot sauce?
Yes.
Just like ridiculous Tabasco sauce.
Yes.
That's what Prim asks for.
You do the equivalent of a dwarven cayenne chipotle.
Ah, yes.
And it's the bag will have it in like powder form, but it will have it.
Oh, amazing. As she's eating, Prim is just like, so, what's the story behind your hammer?
Oh, the hammer. Well,
That's a nice hammer.
Thank you.
He said.
Side-eyeing Zaitari.
I got
oversized.
She's like, don't say anything.
My friends and I went. To be honest, it's not from around here. It's actually from the other continent. Would you imagine I found this in Elven lands?
Does it look like it's elvish?
the runes do not look like it's elvish at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'd believe you if you said that's where you found it, but if you told me it was elvish made, I would say you were a liar.
No, it's not elvish made. But I found it in in Non-Liar, the Wood Elf nation in an ancient city. My friends and I had to go there to obtain this hammer to fight a great evil, and it helped. And I still have it today. And
I'm glad it served you well.
It has. It has. It's brought me some trouble, but it's not all bad.
I think that's probably I suppose the true measure of a really good magic item is if it gets you into as much trouble as it gets you out of. And she like pats her shield as she does so.
Yeah, and his shield is it's not magical, but it's like a masterwork shield, so it's a nice shield. A good weapon can get you out of a lot of scrapes.
So kind of good shield and a good piece of good set of armor.
Aye.
Don't underestimate those. That's what my aunt and uncle always told me.
I don't know. Don't you find lugging something so big and heavy around kind of troublesome?
You asking him or Prim?
Both, whatever.
Well, it can be a little troublesome, but when I'm in a fight, I'd rather have this, and he points, that get hit rather than the soft stuff underneath. And I'm not as nimble as some folk, so.
Come on, man. Say something about the ears. Go ahead. That's all.
I didn't say.
I didn't say that in character.
I mean, I suppose I never just really thought about it. I was, my aunt and my uncle and my grandma, they all told me that, if I wanted to get by, I was going to have to learn how to protect myself. And it seemed like the easiest way to do it, to make sure that I just didn't get hit. This armor I made this armor. Been working on it for years, and it's a bit old and dinged up now, but
it serves you well. That's the important part.
But I suppose if things had been different, maybe I would have turned out like you, Rain. Quick on my feet. Avoiding being hit in a different way.
Well, when you do get hit, it does hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, Malbert looks like a rat. Yeah, I took most of the heavy blows for my friends. They were much quicker than I was.
What kind of group did you travel with when you were adventuring?
Well, we had a holy woman. We had someone that was quick, like your friend right there in Motions to Rain. It was we're a mishmash of individuals. It was a good group. Actually 3 holy people in our group. 4? 4 holy people in our group, now that I think about it.
Okay, so paladin, cleric, druid.
They could have just been worshippers.
Just a bunch of clerics.
There was one individual in particular. His name was Gath, and well, let's just say his family met an untimely end, so he was part of the Church of Pelor. But in the section of the Church of Pelor that attempted to repent for their sins. Well, he felt survivor's guilt, and he would attempt to get himself killed in the battles we partook in. It never worked. Even in the most dire situations, the biggest battles of our lives, he came out alive, and I think he hated me a little bit because I helped keep him alive. So did my friend. So, I wonder what he's doing right now. I bet you anything he's still alive.
Probably.
I wonder why he never considered that was a sign from his god.
We tried
I
to.
don't know. I think that sometimes it can just be luck. I had a friend like that. He didn't want to die, but he got hit with arrows every time there was an arrow. Honestly, don't know how he lived. Worst luck ever.
Did he have a shield like mine?
No. And also there were daggers or, goblins, spells, sleeping gas, poison, acid. He was just, he just fell in everything. Just odd luck.
But I miss my group. I should maybe visit them after I take care of this, go back to Nortek, make sure Vara and everybody are taken care of well, and...
So what was your sneaky one like? Anything like our sneaky one?
Now that you mention
or a
it,
different brand of sneaky.
he was a half elf, like your friend. I am not judging. He couldn't. Everywhere he went, he had to take something. Everywhere we went. Yeah. My friends would
Prim
always...
is trying really hard just not to look at Rain.
Cram it, short stuff now.
What was his name?
His name was Varys.
Why does that sound familiar?
Spider.
Does that sound familiar?
That's the place. Isn't that the guy who ran the town where we
Oh, where I got my gloves.
Yeah.
Might be.
Is that the mayor that I flirted with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This look of
If
like,
that's the...
is that the guy?
Hang on. I'm
God
looking.
damn it, I closed my notes.
I gotta know.
Mayor
exactly.
Varys de Farron. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I peel off my gloves of thievery, which are actually invisible, but I've assumed they've become visible. And he's, did these look familiar?
He looks at them and he says, "Well, fuck me."
Oh my god. I had dinner with him. He was a nice man.
He's like,
It was before I grabbed
Tegan.
Tegan's hand. It was before I met you.
Tegan does not look offended. He's like, it's fine. Malbert starts like just busting out laughing. How was the old fart? He was older than me when last we, What's he doing?
I don't know. He was running a town and
Halfway respectable.
Varys, he's running a town now. Are you sure he's not trying to just steal everything in it?
No,
He learned whatever rogue learns eventually.
Gotta
Money
go
is
with
running things. People at the top that are the real criminals.
Yeah, that's true.
Just looks at Tilda. Yeah.
Well, yeah, him and I ran. Him, I, Antoinette, Najar. Oh man.
Who was Najar? If you don't mind my asking.
Najar was another. cleric in our group. He was a Vanguard worshipper too, but he had a different story. He never really told me the complete story. I assumed there was a woman involved, and then something happened to her, and he continued searching for her or something of the like. He wasn't never really comfortable about it, but he was a very noble individual, a good man. Kept most of us on the straight and narrow, except for you know who.
What happened to him?
I don't know. After our last great battle, he decided that he needed to continue to search for this woman alone. He wasn't really getting anywhere with us. So we parted ways, and last I heard he was in Robur, but I don't know anything else.
I'm sorry, I have the hiccups and they're very high pitched. I apologize.
That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I've been up here for a while. Well, because of that, and he kind of nudges to the hammer, and because of what I've done in my life, when I tried to return to Nortek, a few of the politicians wanted to use me as a pawn, so to speak, because I've done some great things. And they weren't great. I just did what I had to do. Just stood in front of a person, make sure they didn't get hurt. Big whoop.
Prim is nodding.
I decided I didn't want to be used. My talents could be used elsewhere. I could help some little folk. So decided, well, the Ice Handbills have the north on lock for giants. Might as well go a little more south where they're a little more sparse, but I can still handle them. And I can beat the shit out of a giant. Because that's always fun.
Certainly is exciting, to say the least.
Pretty exciting. Especially when you have, He picks up the hammer and he, like, thumbs the leather. It's exciting when you have Storm's Fury accompanying you.
It's a good name.
I didn't pick it, but...
It's still a good name. By the way, Tilda, did you ever send that message to Alexandria about what we found out yet?
Was I meant to do that?
Well, I don't have sending, and the other half of the sending stone is with Bryn.
I apologize.
It's okay. That's why I checked.
Good of you to do so. Okay, what were we What?
Basically, we need to tell her that we are in Vanguard. We're heading to a camp where we believe the cultists were. Obviously, you can condense this however you see fit.
Yeah.
Fits. There was definitely Precilium used in the ritual for this. It was
Preclusium.
Preclusium. Shit. It was buried in Vanguard. And we also think that we found the thing that caused all of the destruction, but that's not really that important. The Preclusium and where we're going are more important. And if anybody has anything else to add to that, I don't know if that covers all of it or not.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Tell her I said hi. You know.
You know. Oh, you know. Hello, Mom. I'm in Vanguard. Just wanted you to know. It's really cold here. By the way, we're going to go fight the cultists now.
You sound like Cousin Oscar.
I think she was doing a jester
Trying.
accent.
Yeah.
That explains why you sound like Cousin Oscar.
Okay. Who's Cousin Oscar?
Oh, hang on. I have to find this for you. Here's Cousin Oscar.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
Oh,
The one where
okay.
it's dark all the time because it's Iceland.
Daylight
Yeah.
savings.
Yeah. There's no daylight.
If I could rip your 1 hour of daylight from your hands, I would. I have to drink fish oil.
Oh boy. Alright, so you can construct that. Now we're just gonna like, well. So you are, I assume, your own adventuring group as well?
Yes, we are.
How are you guys liking it so far?
Well, it's been a while. I think it's been pretty successful. Did you know that we're the heroes of Leona? I'll show him our
Shiny
medal.
Oh. Congratulations.
We saved the queen. And all of the shit involved with saving the queen is why we're here.
Interesting. So, probably trying to halt some death.
Yes, the end of the
Altering.
world as we know it, all
Yeah.
those fun things that adventurers do.
Isn't that great how the world is in your hands and you're the only ones that could, stop this impending apocalypse from...
You know, it does often seem like we do a lot.
It happens from time to time.
Prim looks horrified.
Has its benefits.
It does. It does have its benefits. We get to meet wonderful new friends, great companions. The gold is good.
The gold is very good, Malbert says.
The finding the magical items is also nice.
That's also very nice.
Spreading your name and fame, so people know it, also pretty good.
Yeah, he's kind of like at that last part.
It is for me.
For you, yeah. I just want to fight.
You said, heroes of Leona, now at the Queen's beck and call.
Yes, we're getting a keep out of it.
Oh, that's nice. Your own keep.
I just want to help people. That's all.
Saving the world's helping people.
I'm still a bit baffled by all this keep business.
It's nice to have a home base.
So much space.
It's a lot of space.
Lots of
I'm
room
excited
for
for-
activities.
It is. I'm excited for our tavern. I look at Rain.
Eyebrow waggle.
Mhm.
Everyone make...
You mean the Randy unicorn?
Everybody make perception checks.
Ooh.
You want to go with a stiff staff?
Oh my
What's
god.
going on?
Really?
I missed something.
I was just rolling my eyes at the names of the taverns.
Wow!
Wow, okay.
He's
Everybody...
laughing over the
Tavern
stiff
name.
staff.
Yep.
So... Zaitara, you're laughing over the stiff staff.
Yeah, I'm too
everybody
distracted by
else...
potential lewd tavern names.
Everybody else who... So you guys start talking about, what's great about adventuring and all of that, and, Malbert is still, like, he's holding the hammer loosely. You swear you saw the hammer move a little bit, but it wasn't Malbert who moved it. And then Malbert shoots a look at the hammer, and then he puts it on the ground. And he, like, gives it a stern look, and then he just lets go of it. And he attempts to pretend like nothing happened. Zaytari, you have no idea.
Well, no, I have no idea.
But
Wish
the
I
rest
did.
of you kind of
Staff.
catch that. The rest of you catch that, but he's doing it in a way that's just like, kind of like, almost like he's like glaring at like a pet or a child to be like, stop, and he puts it down.
Okay.
So can
Well, here's a good
anybody
one.
wield the hammer,
about
or
A
does it
body
require
wizard.
worthiness?
What? Huh? He's a little surprised at all the questions at once.
Well, yeah, because Saitari didn't notice shit, so she's just suggesting another lewd tavern name.
Mm.
Can I insight check the hammer?
You can
No,
can attempt. What are you trying to glean from it?
So, Prim's been around, and having been with the Sisterhood of the Bold, I assume she would have heard at least about sentient weapons and sentient armor.
Possibly yes.
Like, there's definitely stories about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
Bryn
so-
also carries a sentient sword.
Yeah.
That
So
she
Rain,
did
Rain,
refer to a
Rain
couple
and
times.
yeah, Rain and Tilda would definitely be like, yeah.
Mhm.
So, based on just, can I make the logical leap that maybe this is like just more than, maybe not necessarily sentient, but more than just a normal magic hammer?
Let's see your insight check.
Get
versus
ready
that-
for
interested in this
Versus the
insight check.
hammer.
versus the hammer's deception. Get ready for my 1. Oh,
Wow.
It's a strong maybe. It's possible. I mean, you did see it didn't move that much on its own. It shook a little bit. If your perception check wasn't, if everybody's perception check wasn't so high, it would be easily missable. Like, you could easily mistake it as him moving it, but it was just that slight glare at it that was just like, stay.
yeah.
But yeah, you kind of get the sense this hammer is a lot more than just a very nice thunder smashing hammer.
Thunder smash.
Then Rain asked the question.
What did Rain ask? There were two people talking at
Oh,
once.
I said, can
Sorry.
anyone pick up that hammer, or does it require someone to be worthy?
If you mean worthy, then if you mean worthy, it's anybody pretty much who wants to fight.
Who wants to fight? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just
you
for
cut out.
giggles, I'll try to pick it up.
All right. I mean, you can pick it up, but
Can I with my 8?
you could pick up the hammer. It's
I know. I'm not that
it's
wimpy.
a war hammer. But you don't necessarily feel anything.
Did a few
What's
swings.
Mr. Malbert, might I hold it for a minute?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm gonna pick up the hammer.
You pick up
Hey,
the
I
hammer.
picked it up for.
Take it from Rain. Just pull it out of
Give me
Rain's
it.
hand.
I just hold it over her head.
Just the mental image of Prim hanging from.
You guys are watching as Prim is hanging from the hammer, like.
I don't think I
That's-
could hold it for a minute.
Yeah, that's silly. Rain can't lift that much.
That's true.
No, probably not.
My like 38 pounds or whatever I am. Sorry,
So
40
you're-
pounds.
You're holding the hammer, right?
Yeah. So I'm just holding the hammer and I'm just turning it over and looking at it.
I said I'm holding it over her head.
Okay.
I didn't give it up. I'm like Jim Acosta in here,
I-
okay? We're
I
not just
jump for the hammer.
Okay.
doing what I in turn try to steal it.
I jump just 10 feet straight into the air for the hammer.
You do have the shoes, yeah.
Okay. This is the check. I just could just
Fuck you.
this is not gonna go well.
Boots.
Strength athletics, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, are you trying to keep the hammer away?
It's not gonna go that well. Hold
Just
on.
you wait, you're gonna get a natural fucking 20.
Is it just my
Yeah.
athletics
Yeah, it's
too?
just your athletics.
Current 18.
So I'm hanging there.
Yeah, you're hanging there. Malbert's just
And
watching
like,
this comedy of errors.
Rain laughs and drops the hammer at the same time.
Oh.
And I just kind of pat Prim. Prim on the shoulder, like, I think I'll stick with the dagger.
Just laying on the ground, holding this hammer on my chest.
Are you alright?
Oh, I'm fine. Sometimes I wonder about the futility of it all, but you know.
I often felt that way when I was with my group.
There's moments like this.
There were many moments like that. Many drunken moments.
It was
What
mostly
did I miss that there was giggling?
Rain is harassing me.
Oh, okay.
I'm being
I have an
discriminated
interesting
against.
story where I got so drunk that I decided to. There was a knife throwing contest. I can do something that animates objects. I tried to just animate the knives, but I couldn't concentrate quite that well at the time.
Mhm.
So I kind of just ended up lifting everything, including some mugs and things, and throwing them all at the target.
That happens.
That was entertaining.
My friends and I, when we would travel long distances, he would conjure pink pterodactyls.
Ooh,
To
that's
ride
a good
on.
idea. Oh, to ride on?
Yep.
What was that?
It was a phantom steed spell, just out of the game.
Oh, okay.
And for
That
the
makes
water,
sense.
they would be pink dolphins. He had something about pink.
That's interesting.
Are
Are we
you?
gonna have a bad wrestling match that I'm gonna get my ass kicked? Rain
Malcolm
will
is just
participate.
watching Prim and Rain just okay.
I'm gonna find out if Prim is ticklish.
I don't think she is actually.
Damn. God damn it.
I think her main thing is that she gets like airsick and seasick.
Oh god. No.
So you're like Rain is just trying to tickle Prim, and she's just, like still just looking at the hammer, it's like
Not
turning it
fair.
over. Life's not fair.
I'll try to
Oh.
poke. I'll try to poke Rain somewhere like on the side, or under her armpit, somewhere that might be a sensitive.
Pretty now I think
gap
about whether she's
area.
ticklish or not.
To try and poke her off of Prim.
Roll an unarmed attack. I don't know. See if you get the right spot.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I think that would just be with plus my dexterity mod.
Yeah.
Am
Malcolm,
I?
go ahead.
Are you are people normally just proficient in unarmed strikes, or no?
Yes.
I think you're always
Yeah, I
proficient
mean,
in
I'm pretty sure you're proficient with your fist.
You just don't get the damage like monks.
No,
do.
Yeah,
no,
you get
no.
half like the D4.
Yeah. Plus. What's my proficiency modifier? 4.
Malbert's says, does any of you like fighting in particular?
Rain just like drops to the floor.
Apparently, I just broke Rain.
Oh dear. And Malbert's
Okay.
like, okay.
Okay, we gotta stop before we break up with the pillows and others.
I'm not even touching you anymore, Rain. I just hit you in that one spot. At least I know where that spot is now. Melanie! It's right there on her side, right above the hip. I'll point it out to her specifically while Rain is still on the ground.
Melanie quite likes fighting, I think.
Oh, I do.
Do you? Malbert is asking you.
Yes.
You hold the hammer for a second.
Okay.
All right.
I hand the hammer over.
All right. You hand the hammer over to Melanie.
Oh.
Yes.
She's tight.
Oh.
Probably. I don't actually know.
I would imagine it's typing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to test something. He's
Oh,
looking
boy.
at you. I challenge you to a duel. Melanie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Hold on, I need to get something.
A battle map.
Oh wow, we're within close quarters. This is great.
10 feet by 10. It's 10 feet by 10 feet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mine's a 10-foot radius in the...
It's okay. 10-foot radius is bigger, I think. Is it?
It would be 20 feet across.
Yeah.
But at
Okay.
this point, Raina's recovered at this point, and when he says that, Raina just kind of drifts down to where Dagger is. It's like,
Tilda's going to insist that you fight outside the bubble.
I had to make a wisdom saving throw. It might not be up to me.
Tilda's like, oh god, not again.
As you're watching, Melanie kind of like sucks in some air through her teeth, and she kind of like squints. Refreshing.
Interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll take that back now.
Yeah, I'll give it back. I'll
Thank
give
you.
it back.
I feel like we've just missed something.
Yeah, what just happened there?
What was that about?
It was really hard not to hit him in the face. But I mean that literally. I'm not joking. It was actually really hard not to hit him in the face.
Believe me, I feel like this all the time.
You maybe should use a different weapon then. Just throwing that out there. It's an option.
But you did notice.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Because my strength is 19.
No, you did.
Interesting.
Yeah. Malbert's like, when this is all over, and he's looking over at you, Melanie, and if you really want to make a name for yourself, you should come challenge me sometime.
Ooh.
Oh. All right. I can do that.
I can put this on the line.
Ooh.
Oh. Now.
In the brooch. But to Zaitari, Prim whispers, "Is this flirting?"
Over the brooch. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. And why did you think we were flirting earlier?
I was just trying to see if maybe you had any interest. That's all.
I'm teasing you.
Okay. Trying to suss out a type, that's all.
Melbert says it likes you. I'll just leave it at that.
I did feel a bit stronger when I was holding it. So
It tends to do that with other things as well.
Interesting. I will, after all this is over, I will take you up on that. I pull out the hilt of my sword. This is the sword I use. As you can see, it's very short, and I just kind of like swing around the hilt for a little while. It's not very effective, and I like fake stab myself, like, oh, see, the hilt doesn't do anything except and then I light it up, and then I just like cackle like an idiot as it lights up.
It's a very nice weapon.
It does extra damage against undead, which is helpful.
Well,
We're all getting our weapons out and comparing. Seeing who is.
Well, if Fury finds you worthy, then it's a good companion to have in battle. That's for sure.
Very interesting.
Well, I guess we should go to bed in the morning.
Probably.
Head up to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good.
Tilda, did Alexandria ever reply?
No, because I didn't make the actual message.
It's okay.
I'm so tired, guys. Can I go
That's
to
fine.
bed?
Yeah, we can end here. This is a good place.
Oh.
It's my birthday.
It's your
I
birthday.
wanna
Go to sleep.
It's your birthday, and you can party how you want
Brandon
to.
says happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Brandon.
Aw.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah, go get some sleep.
The last 12 minutes of my birthday. All right.
All right, so
I guess the only thing before everyone is going to bed is Prim is just like looking at her little hand axe. And just like,
Everybody's got these cool weapons.
Yeah. I
One
would have
day.
sent something to Alexandria. I just
just do it like tomorrow or something, or later this weekend. It's fine.
okay. We're in Vanguard. We're
Oh,
shit's in the mountains.
next week is Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is.
yep.
So
I will be gone.
Okay.
Wait, actually, I might be back by then.
Okay.
It's the 25th.
23rd.
Oh,
23rd, yeah.
So it's
23rd.
Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll be back, I think.
I
By
will.
the time that rolls around. Sorry.
I'll be here. There's a good chance I'll be late because someone is going to feed something that shouldn't have it, something it shouldn't have.
Right.
Very vague.
Something is going to come in with a chicken bone or a turkey bone lodged in it.
Oh,
Or
that's
just
fair. Yeah.
Ate
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a ton. Just ate like a chocolate pie, or something's going to happen.
All right. This scarf, I made it.
About me.
I finished it while we were playing.
Nice.
Nice.
I started it when I hopped on, and now it's done. Well, I still need to tuck in the ends, but it's done. It's
That's
nice and squishy and wide.
Incredible example of scarvery.
Somebody will see it soon.
Ooh.
Maybe as a Christmas gift.
Ooh.
Really?
Maybe multiple people will be getting scarves as Christmas gifts because I waited so long that now they're Christmas gifts.
KK, will you be around?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll
Thanksgiving
also
after.
be around
Euros.
if we are available to play next Friday.
All right. And
Yeah,
Ro?
me too.
All right. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll
Probably.
be working, but I'll be around. because hospitals don't get Black Friday off.
Oh.
Some will be in with a
Yeah.
chicken bone or a turkey bone. Although
Yeah.
they've eaten a whole lot of that.
All right.
Except for humans, that's probably like rectal and not oral.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
All right.
Good night.
Ooh,
Thanks for the game.
Here, I have a picture to send everyone too that I
Yeah, go
took. Let me see here.
Does it have anything to do with rectal things?
No.
'Cause-
It does
Okay.
not.
Then I will stay awake a little longer.
Okay, let me hang on. It's on the phone.